We will wind up our discussion about various curriculum approaches which we have done so far. So far, we have looked at Richard's article, and we looked at some features of forward, central, and backward design. And then we looked at different models proposed by Dennis Finney. And then we got some other models. So the reason why we are looking at these models is just to see the broader picture, perspective of learning actually, and how these models have inspired some interesting findings in the field of English language teaching. So we will wind up this main topic, curriculum approaches, with the spiral model, and we'll see what means by spiral model and how it can be integrated into the field of English language teaching. Well, as compared to Tyler Wheeler models, this model actually is a bit cyclical in its approach. I mean, it's since the term itself, spiral, I mean, which keeps moving on, right? So it mainly just lays emphasis on covering the major items of language learning in the beginning, and then doing the exercises to keep repeating the learning, right? So the main philosophy behind this model is just like to enable the learners not only learn in the classroom, but also, keep their learning process even outside the classroom. So, according to this spiral model, language learning is not seen something which lasts over a few weeks, rather over a certain period of time, and then we can expose our students to the details of the linguistic input which they are having from lesson to lessons. There are certain applications of this model to the field of language curriculum design, and I will dwell on these applications one by one. Well, the first one is that lexical sets with less frequency occur later. Secondly, high frequency patterns, elaborations occur later. So this is how it facilitates language learning, rather exposing students to the difficult items in the beginning and making them confused about the language systems, right? Thirdly, groups of language functions with less useful alternative ways of expressing function, they occur later. And genres with longer and more complex examples of the genre occur later. So for example, the genre of English for specific purposes. So if we want to teach this, if we want to include this feature of in the general language curriculum design, so this sort of features or items should be introduced at the later stages of the curriculum instead of introducing them in the beginning. So okay, so there are certain advantages or merits of this model, like we have already seen this Tyler and Wheeler's and their merits as well. So primarily it paves the way for the learners to learn simple things in the beginning, and then having exercises keep repeating and reinforcing the input. So this is how it becomes kind of cyclical in nature, right? And within this model, if, for example, since a language classroom, realistically speaking, is a combination of various dynamics, various individualities, and they have their own needs and their own preferences. So, for example, if any of the students have failed to attend a specific lesson, so within this model, since it lays emphasis on keep repeating and reinforcing the input, so the absentees could catch up those missed up items later on within this model. So, this model, in summary, lays emphasis on, starting from the simple items and introducing the difficult ones at the later stages. So there, it generally it sees language learning as a valued exercise, so which is cyclical in nature and which entails individual differences of the students.